on today's match, please?
We're looking forward to a big game and a tough encounter against Halifax. So we've had to make a lot of changes from last week, and I think it's going to be a real tough game in the conditions here.
Both positionally and in terms of the personnel as well. A brand new backline from 1 through to 7.
Yeah, we've been forced into some changes, but also others we've reflected on the last couple of performances and thought we needed a rejig of our backline, and hopefully we'll get the rewards today from that.
Just how big a match is it today after the defeat last week and with Leigh coming up next week?
Well, they're all big games. I think any game against Halifax is a massive game anyway in itself, and our performance last week wasn't up to scratch, and next week we're not really looking forward to that yet. We're looking at this game, and I think, like I said, every game's big. 2 points is massive for us today.
Just looking ahead at today's game, how much of a look have you had at Halifax in terms of what they can offer?
We've had a good look. They're a strong side, a big forward pack, play very tough through the middle, a couple of smart halfbacks, so they've got a good side, and they've got a fair back three as well, so we know it's going to be a tough game, and we've got to be on our game as well, and if we're not switched on, we'll get caught out.
The personnel you brought in from Wakefield, how have they fitted into the team?
They've been good. There's quality players, and we needed some bodies on board, so we brought them 4 in, and they're slotted straight into the side, which will give us an opportunity to move some of our back line around, and also welcoming Trouty back. Thought he did a great job for us last year, and it's good to get him back in the squad. And we're seeing Big Jack Ormonroyd off the bench as well tonight, and looking forward to seeing how he goes.
Peter Godinay is a real pivot in at halfback. He's caused some little problems in the friendly.
Yeah, he's a quality player, so hopefully he can turn it on. Everybody who's been in from Wakefield this week's trained really well for us, and they're ready to play, so we just need them to perform on the day.
Andy, thanks for your time.
No worries, thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Shea Stadium here in Halifax for today's Kingston Press Championship match between Featherstone Rovers and Halifax. A bit rundown of the team news for you. First of all, one change for the Halifax team. That is in the centres, where Ben Heaton comes in for Taylor from last week. So Halifax line up. At fullback is number 1, Miles Greenwood. Number 2, Tommy Saxton. Number 3, Steve Tyra. Number 4 is Ben Heaton. And number 20 is James Saltonstall, who's come from Warrington Juniors. In the halfbacks, number 18 is Matt Place, and number 6 is Scott Morrell. In the forwards, the prop forward is number 17, Mitch Cahalane, and number 10, Luke Campbell. And in between those two, number 9 hooker is Ben Kay. In the second row for Halifax, number 15 is Adam Robinson, and number 11 is Dane Manning. And the loose forward is number 12, Andy Braycheck. On the bench for the Halifax team, number 8 is Adam Sangaster. Number 22 is Jacob Fairbank. Number 16 is Richard Moore, and number 21 is Ryan Manili. And the Rovers side sees both change in personnel and position. There's a brand new 1 to 7 from last week. The fullback today had such a good match at fullback last year for Rovers against the Halifax team. It's number 2, Will Sharp. He switches with number 21, Jai Hitchcock, who moves out to that wing. In the centres, on dual registration from the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, number 34 is Joe Arundel. And number 6, moving from centre last week, is Paul Sykes. On the opposite wing to Jai Hitchcock is another lad on dual registration. Number 33 is Tom Johnson. Brand new halfback pairing today from last week as well. On dual registration from Wakefield, number 32 is Peter Godinay. And making his first appearance of the season for Rovers is Gareth Moore. In the front row for Rovers, number 8 is Jordan Baldwinson, and number 10 is Paul Wood. And in the hooker today, number 14 is Sam Irwin. In the second row, replacing Mason Tonks, is Jamie Cordy, and he will partner Alex Foster, wearing number 19. And the loose forward, in for Jack Bussey today, comes captain Tim Spears. On the bench for Rovers, the hooker is number 9, Andy Ellis. Number 16, Andy Bostock. Number 27, making his first appearance in the first team, competitive appearance is Jack Ormonroyd, and number 35 is Kyle Trout. So Joe, bringing the changes across the back line today for Rovers, injuries and form. Quite a big difference from last time out.
It certainly has, and there's plenty of changes in other areas on the field as well. You look at the players who've come in on dual registration, high calibre, but you're going to be a bit miffed if you've been left out of that team, haven't you? And he had to do something in response to the performance last week against Bradford, and certainly done something. Will it pay off though?
Just how big a match is today after the disappointments of last week against the Bradford Bulls? It's vital Rovers get a win today, because next week, of course, you've got to look ahead to the visit to the Centurions.
Today it's got to be a huge game. You've got to look at last week's game in context. Bradford aren't a team we were expecting to be competing with at the beginning of the season. They're a team who are virtually guaranteed to be in the top four and will be competing at the top league to win it. Rovers, meanwhile, will be hoping to get into that top four, make sure we play in the middle eight and have some of those big games. Halifax are another team in that position, so this game is what it's all about. There's 3 full-time clubs in this league. These two are on the cusp of that, not full-time. Have players putting in the hours, and they'll be wanting to get in that top four just as much as we are. Today's an absolutely huge game, Ben. Away to our major rivals this season, Halifax. We've had a great rivalry over recent times with them, and this is just the latest chapter.
It certainly is the latest chapter, and a brand new pairing at half-back as well, with Gareth Moore making his first appearance of the year, and in from Wakefield, Peter Godinay, and I know he caused Rovers a lot of problems in the friendly pre-season.
Yeah, Gareth Moore makes his return. Of course, he had a brilliant end to last season, really came into some fine form, and we'll be hoping to see him return to that. Perhaps in the pre-season games, not as bright as we'd have liked, but around the halves in last week's game and even in the first 2 fixtures of the season, I felt we were lacking something, that bit of creativity. Well, Moore can add that. He's also got a superb kicking game, and I'm looking at his field, I'm thinking particularly deep into this left side, it's really churned up, so if he kicks into that area, the ball's going to hold up, and hopefully we can use that to our advantage. Then Peter Godinay coming in at stand-up. I mean, he had a fantastic game pre-season in at hooker for Wakefield, and he was fantastic for Samoa in that Four Nations, of course. Real bright spark for them and really set their tournament alive. In at stand-up, he's very experienced there, and some of his off-the-cuff plays, no one else on the field sees them coming. It's not the type of structure, so we'll be looking for more to add that. On the fringes, perhaps he can create that bit of something special and unlock a defence like he was struggling to do so often last week. Peter Godinay could be very pivotal in the outcome of today's game.
It certainly could, and also from Wakefield, great to see him back after a fine season last year on dual registration. He's on the bench today, it's Kyle Trout.
Yeah, Kyle Trout was at the Hunslet game when we played Wakefield. He's been on loan at Whitehaven, of course, for a month at the beginning of this season, and now he's come back to Fev. Apparently he wanted to come back to Fev. He had a great time playing with us last season, and he certainly got some go forward about him. He comes into that side, and it could be a real big positive in this game if he's really up for it today.
Certainly could, so it's a much different team from last week, and Sean Stokes, it's a big match referee for certainly what is arguably the game of the day of the championship, and discipline today, and a match as big as this one in the run that games that we've got, discipline has to be vital as well.
Well, yeah, you look at some of our defensive frailties, particularly coming to the end of that first half and into the early stages of the second half in last week's game, and we don't want Halifax to be getting anywhere near our line. This week we'll be hoping if we end up in their half of the field for our set completion, they will be able to create something more. So yeah, definitely discipline's going to be huge today, as it always is, of course, at this level. You also have to look at some of the rest of the team, and plenty of new faces have come in. Janie Gordon's made a return to the team. He'll be looking for a big game. And of course, Jack Ormonroyd coming in, the young lad. He was over in Australia last season. He's not played competitive rugby for the Rovers in a long time now, so he'll be looking for a big day. This is the kind of time. We've got Ryan Belinden to come over in the prop position. He's yet to come back, so this could be Ormonroyd's real chance to stake a claim for his place in the side going forward in the rest of the season. Big game for him today. This is his opportunity.
Just how impressed have you been as Rovers come out onto the field? How impressed have you been with the form of Alex Foster in the opening games? We've seen again today. He certainly looked impressive in that second row for Rovers.
Whilst he perhaps lacked something going forward to an extent, I think that's been an issue for many Rovers players, and if the ball's not being put out wide and those second rows aren't able to come onto the ball, they're going to have limited impact going forward. Defensively, he's been superb without a doubt, and it's no surprise to see him in the squad once again. We've got Sam Irwin in acting halfback from the start, which I think will be interesting as well. Andy Ellis can really add something around the ruck, years from go forward when he comes off the bench, scooting like he does, but he certainly had some pace around the ruck, Sam Irwin, and it'll be interesting to see what he does starting at hooker.
Looks like Halifax are going to get first use of the ball this afternoon. Talking to Jack Busty before the match as well. He's got a broken cheek bone, and he's expecting to be out for at least another 5 weeks. So that's a blow for Rovers. We'll talk about that in a moment. But here Halifax now in possession. Working out from their own 20. So Halifax then just bringing that ball forward, just a steady first step, and that's a good drive from the Halifax team, getting them up to the 40. And now just short of halfway, the ball's come loose backwards, so the referee happy enough for that to continue, and here's Adam Robinson, just short of halfway now with the Halifax team. Moving into that Rovers half, and the referee puts his hand up. That is the last tackle. And there's a kick over the top. And it's well fielded by Rovers, and here's the return now. Just how dangerous, Joe. A good first set from Halifax and a good kick. But Halifax halfback, Scott Morrell particular, causes so many problems on those set plays on the last tackle.
Yeah, Scott Morrell, without a doubt, his boot is a very dangerous weapon, and his last tackle plays will be very important for this Halifax side in today's game and throughout the rest of the season. Massive that we're able to close him down and block off some of these runners as well.
Here's Paul Wood now, gets Rovers up to the 40. It's a good defensive set for Halifax. Here's the last. Gareth Moore from inside the 40, but straight down the throat of the Halifax team, and here's a good return. A lateral return, but he's made good yards there as Miles Greenwood. And Halifax will start this set on their own 30 now. Tommy Saxton moves into acting halfback. He'll take a run himself. That's something Rovers fans particularly will know so much about, is Tommy Saxton making those yards from acting halfback. A lot of fans disappointed when he left, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. Tommy always comes in and he puts a shift in. He'll never stop trying for the club, but he did lack some of that pace when given the opportunity around the outside, and that's not what we were wanting coming into some of the big games. Some of his finishing out wide, unfortunately getting forced out into the corner far too much. I'd love to see Tommy as a player, but you can see why we had to let him go to an extent.
Certainly can, and Rovers have got 2 pivots in acting halfback on a couple of occasions. It's Peter Godinay today wearing a screen, makes him easy for us. Here's Tim Spears now over the 40. Sam Irwin takes his turn now. He moves that ball to Paul Wood, who gets Rovers up to halfway and into Halifax half. That's a superb drive. And here's the last tackle now for Rovers. Irwin finds Moore again, Moore will give that ball somewhere. It's a good kick. What's the chase like? It's Miles Greenwood's knocked it on, and Rovers have got another 6 at least. Are they over? Oh, he's held up inches short. Miles Greenwood now. This is the first tackle. Moore stumbled, but lets the play continue. Here's Tim Spears. Rovers won the ball, moving out to the left. Jai Hitchcock's on this wing. Through the hands it goes. Moore to Godinay now. Moves the ball that way. Rovers are over! Rovers are over. It's Paul Sykes for Rovers. A fantastic start for Featherstone Rovers. A mistake from the kick. It was a good kick from Moore, which Miles Greenwood couldn't take. He was knocked on, and Rovers retrieved the ball, moving the ball out to the left-hand side. It found its way to Sykes. Paul Sykes finding the gap and able to get through the Halifax defence. Joe, a perfect start for Rovers. Halifax 0, Featherstone Rovers 4.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, great kick pressure from Tom Johnston. Gareth Moore's put that one up into the stratosphere, and we've put great pressure on Miles Greenwood. The ball's come loose, and we're very alert to it. Well done to the chasing back there. Then we bring the ball out to this left side. It goes through hands nicely. It's really what we were missing in last week's game against Bradford. And we saw the benefit there of Will Sharp coming up into the line from fullback. Then used his hands. We had a 3-on-2 on the outside. And Paul Sykes was able to score there on that left-hand channel. Goes over with ease. Now he's got a chance to make the score 6 by sending this one over with a boot.
Certainly, we saw the quality there in the play, the way they moved the ball as well. The hard work to make the yards up to the 40. It was a 40-20 attempt from Moore, but in the end it worked out just as well, better than a 40-20 with a knock on from that kick. And then working the ball out, great hands it was. Godinay involved heavily. Paul Sykes takes that kick. That's a beauty, straight between the uprights. The flags go up. A perfect start here at the Shea Stadium for Featherstone Rovers. It's Halifax 0, Featherstone Rovers 6.
Just to be clear, I'm not sure it was a 40-20 attempt. I don't think anyone's ever tried to bomb a 40-20. But yeah, what a great conversion there from Sykes to make the score 6-0. Rovers ahead now. This is exactly the kind of start we wanted to see. The first try we've seen here, first half game this season, of course.
Certainly is, and here's a drive there from Paul Wood, and it's a good drive. Rovers working the ball. You can see how fired up Rovers are. They've got a point to prove after last week, after the disappointment of last week, and early points on the board, and they're fired up, and a penalty as well. Joe, these players out here, a number of changes, but so many with a point to prove as well.
Definitely. I mean, if you're a player who's just been introduced into the squad, then you're wanting to keep that place. And if you're a dual reg player from Wakefield, I know some people have said dual reg players can be rather lacklustre, but I think many of them come in and they've got points to prove because they want to get back into that first team and play Super League.
That's a good drive from Tim Spears there. Rovers already in the Halifax half again now. Gareth Moore again, a drop on the shoulder. He's looking lively as Gareth Moore today. A drop on the shoulder, trying to get through. Irwin again now, Spears. Through the hands it goes. Rovers in the Halifax 30 now. Centre field. Tackles in hand as well as Irwin waits. Godinay. He takes on that line, does Godinay. That's a good run into the 20. Irwin waits again. Now Rovers going to come the short side. Yes, they are. Will Sharp now. That is the last tackle. And Rovers now 5 metres short. Irwin finds Godinay. Oh, that's a dab through. Godinay. Rovers are over. Oh no, Gareth Moore is offside. Gareth Moore is offside. Oh, you can see the danger though, Joe. A beautiful kick from Godinay. The quality he brings, and Moore as well. Gareth Moore is really looks fired up for this one.
Yeah, real dangerous kick in there. We said the pitch is churned up, particularly at that end, so you put the grubber along the floor and no players have got any idea what's going to happen. It's a 50-50. Complete lottery as do. The ball bounces kindly for Gareth Moore. Was going in at pace there, but jumped the gun a little and was caught offside. Chance to put Halifax under pressure again though now. We've got a player down behind the sticks. Not sure who that is from here.
Can't see who it is myself, but the signal from the bench is not good. The player looks like he has been out cold. He is moving though, I think. So the clock is stopped, and Joe, all the possession for Rovers in the territory again. The difference from last week is they're making it count.
Yeah, definitely. We've got more attacking potency. We look like we've got an idea of what we might do next when we've got the ball, as opposed to stumbling from tackle to tackle. Devoid of ideas, like you felt we were at certain points last week. Definitely, that's got to be the most pleasing thing about the performance so far. Can we maintain that throughout this game though?
That is certainly the question, and Gordonay and Gareth Moore as well. Brand new half-back partnership. Looks to be working well together though, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll see that come more and more to fruition throughout the game, you'd hope. But both players capable of doing special things. More composed in sending the ball out wide, using up dummy runners and setting up plays. Gordonay more off the cuff. We've already seen with that dummy and make that extra couple of yards. And the grubber in behind, so it'll be interesting to see how the two combine as the game progresses.
Certainly. Also, we have got stoppage in play at the moment. Rovers with the early lead. A great 40-20 attempt from Gareth Moore that was knocked on by Miles Greenwood over on the far side. The ball moved to the left, moved out to the left-hand side, and it was Paul Sykes who went over, converting his own try. So Rovers with a 6-0 lead at the moment, and the look, Joe, at the moment to be in complete control.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to be concerned that we don't lose our momentum now, because there's been a pause in play. The players have come together now. They need to keep their head in this game. They need to make sure they can stay in control and restamp their authority on the game once we get going again. Got to hope the players all right here. He's not going to be able to continue as the stretch is there, and there's plenty of people around attending to him. But yeah, the Rovers players need to make sure they can stay fully focused now. We've just had confirmation that Miles Greenwood is the man behind the sticks. He's been a very important player over the past few years at various clubs. Of course, unfortunately, making the drop of the ball there from Gazmo's kick, which eventually led to the try for the Rovers, but it'll be a big loss to Halifax going down now.
Certainly will, of course. Miles Greenwood making a mistake. Probably not the afternoon he'll have wanted when he ran out onto the pitch at 2 minutes to 3 for this match. Less than probably about 10 minutes into the game. A knock on which has led to a try and now being stretchered off. It looks like it is a leg injury. His leg has been strapped up, so obviously we'll be wishing him all the best, and hopefully he'll make a quick recovery. But just how big a loss is Miles Greenwood for this Halifax team? He's such an important player in at fullback, Joe, and it is going to be a massive loss for them now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're looking at the players who could sub in, and Tommy Saxton, of course, capable of going in from the wing. But then you're going to lose Tommy out wide, and he's capable of making those important yards, as we've said. Of course, could come in to make the scoops from fullback. But yeah, this will definitely be a real loss, particularly in the way that Greenwood comes up into the line and adds something to that side. Now, as we see the Halifax players running with the ball in hand, trying to keep warm. Rovers players equally stretching off, making sure that they stay ready to get back into this game.
Indeed, so quite a long stoppage in play here for this injury to Miles Greenwood. Hopefully it won't be too serious an injury, we'll see him back soon. But he has caused so many problems for Halifax in the build-up to this game and in the matches prior to today, and for Batley as well when he was there last year as well. So it is a big loss for them. And Rovers, like Joe says, just stretching up, just trying to keep warm, keep those joints moving. Still no sign of it. Miles Greenwood being taken off. The Halifax mascot is in attendance as well, but they'll take as long as they need. Joe's just burst out laughing for some reason. I'll ask him why in a minute. But they'll take as long as they need with this injury just to make sure he gets the right treatment that he needs. And Rovers now, a couple of players doing some work with the ball as well. Just stretching out. Must be difficult, Joe, when you get a long play in this, a long breaking play like this, to keep you focused. When you've been so on top, you've got to keep that momentum going.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, this game starts all over, so whereas Halifax might have had their heads down, and yes, they'll be affected by the loss of Greenwood, they're able to get their head back on this game now. They can be fully focused and come back into this with a bang, whereas Rovers, we were already at a peak to be able to maintain that. I'm not sure whether we'll be able to now as Greenwood comes off the field to applause. It's a great reception he's getting from both sets of fans here. Kind of play we really like to watch in this division, and yeah, we've got to hope he makes a swift recovery.
Indeed you do, and the game will restart with a penalty for Halifax. It was ultimately Gareth Moore was offside from that kick through, so it will be a penalty restart being taken from the 10, and so Halifax then finding touch. They'll be looking now to try and get some momentum of their own, and here's that first drive in from the Halifax team. A good defence from Godinay there in the tackle. He's alongside Cording, and here come Halifax now with Dane Manning. Plays the ball to Benny Kay. Kay moves that ball on to Ambler. A good defence from Rovers. Halifax in the 40, in the Rovers 40 now. As Ben Kay moves that ball out wide, here's Morrell, drops that ball off. Halifax then 30 metres out. Just left her centre, and Benny Kay with a scoop from Martin Harp. Moves that ball on to Mitch Kalani. Morrell with a kick through. Will Sharp. That's a good positional play from Will Sharp, and that's a great set from Halifax, Joe. From the penalty, they started off on their own 30, and they got Rovers pinned back on their own line.
Yeah, important. They've got that penalty to get them just to the edge of their half, then they've worked their way upfield nicely, and they've put in that rubber to put Rovers under some real pressure now. Still within our own 20, 4 tackles gone. Important that we get out of here and we're able to put in a good kick, get back on top of this game.
Indeed it is. Irwin from Martin halfback finds Wood. Wood moves it along the line to Spears. The hand goes up. Rovers just inside their own 30 now. Here's Moore. Moore will put another high kick in. Taken though well by Tommy Saxton, and that's a good return from Saxton. He'll be looking to make a point today. Rovers left him in goal because they felt he was, as discussed, Joe said earlier on, maybe losing that yard of pace. He'll want to make a point today though, as Benny Kay now moves that ball inside. Halifax back in the Rovers half again now. That looked forward from where I was. Here's Morrell. Moves it along the line to Scott Morrell, and that's good defence from Rovers on that far side. Down the short side go Halifax. For James Saltonstall. But that was on the last tackle, so it's a turnover. And Rovers defence holding solid, Joe.
Yeah, we've done well to keep them at bay there. Interesting decision there on the last tackle play, sending it short side. But the Rovers wary to it, and there they are. They started from 15 out, and it's made all the difference now as they're already up onto their 30. For a chance to break out here, and there comes the penalty, exactly what we needed. We've got to find ourselves in the Halifax half now.
Indeed we will. Gareth Moore trying to take it quickly, get on with it, referee having nothing of it. So it will come back and he will have to take it again. And so the penalty is given, and Gareth Moore again now. Again puts Rovers into the Halifax half, and I think that's probably about exactly the same place as the first one went. So Joe Arundel takes that tap to Moore. Moves the ball inside to Tim Spears. Irwin waits now. Here's Paul Wood again. He's working hard. He's looking for the ball. Covering a lot of ground on that front row for Rovers. As Irwin waits, he's going to go back in field. Finds Moore again. Moore out the back. That's beautiful from Rovers play. Gareth Moore looks really fired up at the moment. And a stumble there from Irwin. Talking about the pitch before the game. It was Hitchcock's, sorry, now Irwin. Baldwinson now. Rovers out to left hand, right hand side. Moore with a dink over the top. Rovers rise highest. And Rovers are over again. It's Joe Arundel for Featherstone Rovers. A great kick from Gareth Moore again. Joe Arundel rising higher than everybody else, able to get that ball down. And Joe Rovers, they came here last season, they got a 20-0 lead at half time. It looks like they're heading that way again. Halifax 0, Featherstone Rovers 10.
Yeah, definitely another clever little kick, high up this time into the corner from Moore. And it was Johnston, I'd say I told you so. Johnston who rose highest in the corner to finish there, and well done that, jumping way above his opponents and getting it down before going dead crucially. That's the sign of a great winger to me.
Indeed, the word came from my cameraman, it was Arundel, so I blame him for that one. But what a leap it was from Tom Johnston. And now Paul Sykes with another difficult conversion. Rovers fans in fine voice away to our right. They'll be enjoying this after the disappointments of last week. As Paul Sykes tight to that right hand touchline now. A left-footed kicker, so it's a correct side for him. And there's the kick from Sykes. The flag's waved across the front, so no goal on that occasion. But Rovers in control. But Halifax 0, Featherstone Rovers 10.
Yeah, that's the perfect start, isn't it? We now find ourselves 2 scorings in front and getting the ball back now. It's all about, like we say, completing the set when you get the ball back. Make sure you're dominating the territory and you keep in control of this game. It's far less work that way, and it means we can save all our energy for that clash next week. Or is it too early to be thinking about that?
If you ask Andy Hay, I mentioned the league game before the match to Andy Hay. He said he's not even thinking about that one yet. We're into probably about midway through this first half here at Halifax. Rovers in control now, bringing the ball back out. Here's Moore again. You can see the confidence in Rovers moving the ball across the line, something which always scares me when you see teams doing it, Joe, moving the ball across their own 20. But you can see the confidence in Rovers compared to how it was last week.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 10 points in front, they've got their tails up and they feel willing to do that. I suppose if the opponents aren't applying much pressure, then you can feel free to do it now as Godinay puts the kick in. And that's out on the full. That is not the way you want to complete a set, coming off the back of a try. And that could give Halifax something to go on here as they start on the 40 rather.
Probably the first mistake Rovers have made this afternoon, to be fair. And it will be the turnover. It was on the last tackle. So Benny Kay now waits. And here's Tommy Saxton now. See how Rovers are working defensively on their own line. First real attack Halifax have had this. Here's Morrell. He moves that ball on, but that's good defence from Rovers on that occasion. Ben Heaton was in attendance. Attacking down the short side again. Gareth Moore with an attempted intercept. Gareth Moore with an attempted intercept. If he'd taken that pass, he had a stroll to the line. And then a bit of gamesmanship as well there, probably from Gareth Moore. but the intercept was on, and Halifax struggling at the moment just to break the Rovers' line, Joe.
Yeah, it's a fantastic defensive set here from the Rovers, but now they're going to have to do it all over again now as Halifax have the ball, a full set in hand, and they're only 15 metres away from the Rovers' line.
Indeed, and here, oh, that's a shocking pass. I'm not so sure that that was appreciated by Halifax at Ben Kane now. And here are Halifax now. And it's a mistake. Halifax have lost that ball, folks. So Rovers are back in possession. And so far, at the moment, Halifax just struggling, Joe, to get a real foothold in this game and build any attacking momentum.
Yeah, it seems every time that they come near our line, they're lacking that final pass, rather like Rovers last week. However, the difference being that for that first 20 minutes we were camped on Bradford's line, but we were unable to make our way through. The difference this time is Halifax are rarely up there, and when they are, they're still not coming up trumps.
And here are Rovers again, moving that ball around so well today. You can see the confidence those two early tries have given Rovers. It's another kick over the top from Moore. That's a great kick. And the fullback is wearing number 7, but I haven't got a number 7 on me. It's Ben Johnson in at fullback. Halifax fan close, wanting a penalty, but so far nothing given there by Mr. Stokes. Here goes Tommy Saxton. That's the offload, it's a good offload, and Morell's away. Scott Morell is away. And here come Halifax. That's a kick through, that's a poor end to a set, it has to be said. That was a superb opportunity, Joe. Down this right hand side, they had the overlap on with proper execution on that kick. A good chase, and Halifax would have been in. As we see the return in a Rovers shirt of Kyle Trout, and off goes Tim Spears. Chance blown.
Big chance blown. You find yourself behind and you've got to put them to bed. Bring it out wide. They had the numbers on us and just unable to come up with anything. That kick had far too much weight on it and goes dead with ease.
Kyle Trout back on for Rovers, waiting at first receiver in field. Missed out, here's Moore, that's a flat pass, but it's alright to Cording. And Rovers once again are back in the Halifax half, folks. Here's Godinay, takes on the line himself, Peter Godinay, that's the last tackle as Irwin now waits. Moore, that's another high kick towards that corner. And Halifax safe enough under that one, and a good return, but Kyle Trout on for Rovers, Joe. How big a difference can he make?
Well, at the moment, the way we're playing, you don't want to make a difference, do you? But yeah, definitely you'd hope he can add even more intensity to this game. Doesn't take a backward step, Kyle Trout, and he puts in a shift with the tackling, so yeah, let's hope to see some of that.
Getting tasty is this match, folks. Halifax fans both in front of us and away to our left, wanting Rovers penalised for slowing the play of the ball down. But here is Halifax again, still inside their own 40 with an offload, and that's a break. Halifax are away. It's Ben Johnston with a kick for the corner for Heaton to chase. Heaton, and Wilshire not interested, happy to run that ball dead. A great break from Ben Johnson though, Joe. The penalty has been given to Halifax for obstruction. And so it is a Halifax penalty, Joe. What a great break and another opportunity though for Halifax.
Yeah, you've got to be wary of that Johnston's there on a break and he sees he's got runners on the outside. He puts that rubber into the left and it's a free-for-all as Stu gets there first. By the sounds of it, some Rovers players held up the Halifax men and so they were unable to get the ball. Now here they are, they find themselves just 20 metres out. What can they do with it this time?
Richard Moore is on for Halifax. Here to place with Mitchell Wayne. And here goes Rovers. Halifax, sorry, it's Dane Manning. He's held up 2 metres short. And Halifax again returning back where they've just come from. That's Matt Place. Johnson moves that ball inside. Ben Kay, Morrell now. Morrell with a kick for the corner. It's gone touching goal. That'll be a restart on the 20. So once again, Joe, Halifax good possession but not able to make it count.
Yeah, although you've got to say, I thought that ball was going to go dead easy, but then when it kicked up, I thought, hang on a second here, we might have some runners who are going to latch onto this. Luckily for Rovers, they didn't, and the ball goes dead. We get a tap on the 20, and we already find ourselves just short of the halfway line now. We needed that ball to go dead, Ben. It's about time we ended up in their half again.
Indeed, and Jack Ormonroyd is on for Rovers, and he's replaced Jordan Baldwinson.
Replaces number 8, Jordan Baldwinson.
So a chance for Jack Ormonroyd to make his mark now. There's an offload to Irwin. Rovers attacking down that right-hand channel. Halifax trying to push it in touch, but good play from Rovers. Here's Moore again now. Drops that ball off to Kyle Trout, a player Rovers fans will know from last year who had made such a difference last year on dual red. Sherwin again now. Moore puts that kick across field. Paul Sykes is underneath it. A penalty for Halifax. I presume, yep, for offside. So Halifax will get the penalty and will restart this match, Joe.
Now we've got to be more careful at the kicks. That's twice we've been pulled for offside now, and it's relieving some pressure on Halifax. You know, if we just put a kick in and then we make the tackle just short of the line, we can look to press them there and keep them in their half, because, you know, we've got control of this game. We're 2 scores ahead. Let's keep it that way. Now as Ormonroyd's on the field, let's see what he can do.
Indeed, they're here at Halifax then, on halfway. Ben Kay moves the ball out to the left. Ambler moves that ball on again. Halifax are back in the Rovers half. Attacking that Rovers line, but good solid defence from Rovers again. Here at Halifax, that's a good run through by Jacob Fairbank, looking for the offload but not quite there. Quick play of the ball, Halifax. Morrell with a kick for the corner, it's knocked forward. It's going to be a knock on, it's going to be a turnover on the last tackle.
Replaces number 12, Andy Braychek.
As Jacob Fairbank has actually come on for Andy Braychek now. Again, another chance goes for Halifax, Joe, and Rover and Halifax they are getting opportunities, but so far lacking the cutting edge as Rovers did last week.
Yeah, I mean, they are getting the opportunities, but it's often off Featherstone mistakes. So, you know, one of these days it's going to come up for them and they're going to get themselves back in this game. Just, you know, lads, a bit of discipline. That's what we've said this game's important about. We need to look to close this out now.
Indeed, as Rovers make another change. And it is a knock-on from Rovers. For Wood it is, as Andy Ellis comes on for Sam Irwin. Andy Ellis, it's a bit of a difference for him coming off the bench, Joe. What can he bring after 20 minutes or so of this game?
Well, we've said when you find yourselves ahead, you need a bit of composure. And what better head to have out there than the one on top of Andy Ellis's neck? And yeah, got the scrum now, Halifax just outside. He's going to put in a defensive shift if the always comes high on the tackle count, and so can be really important on keeping this side out too.
Indeed it can then. Halifax with tackles in hand. They're in the Rovers 20 again. They've been here a few times in the last probably 10 minutes or so, but so far unable to cross that whitewash. A penalty there on that occasion though. Do they take the 2 or do they run it? I think they are going to run this. And so here comes that play now. Here's Jacob Fairbank. It's a good first drive. Wins another penalty. I have to say, Joe, I'm not sure. Maybe there were hands in tackle. I did look to make a meal of that. Here come Halifax again now. And so far, this Rovers defence so far has been superb. If they can keep this up and keep Halifax out, that'll lift the confidence. And here goes Ambler trying to spin away, but good defence again. The ball's moved back out to the left again. But Rovers' defence so far, again keeping them out on that occasion. Is he held up? Yes, he is held up, I think. Yep, referee has sent him back 10 metres. And again attacking that short side, Halifax. Tommy Saxton must be wondering what's going on. And here go Halifax again down that short side again. This is the last tackle, and Halifax have had 5 tackles within probably a 10-metre space. That's the kick through. Again, it's picked up by Will Sharp, who runs it dead. It's another penalty. Joe, Rovers' right-hand edge defence has been superb, but you have to question Halifax taking it back every time. They've got a good line out here. Surely they've tried something different, but Rovers so far have been able to keep them at bay.
Yeah, they're just not finding a way through, and the slag on this defence is brilliant. You know, you've got to admire it, and the way we were watching on the inside as well, we saw when Ambler rolled away after the handoff there, players were straight back on him and ready for him cutting back in. That's what's particularly pleasing to see. Halifax will be disappointed if they don't come away with some points here. Now as they make the kick into the corner. Oh! I don't know what Hitchcock was thinking there, but Halifax has scored in the corner. Flapping at the ball like that, I don't know what was going through his head there.
Indeed, it is a try for Halifax. Steve Tyler, it was a kick over the top from Halifax. It looked a straightforward enough take for Jai Hitchcock. Not able to take it though, and the ball is dropped on by Halifax. That'll bring a bit of confidence back. If Rovers had kept them out, you could see the heads dropping and Halifax struggling to find a way through. But Steve Tyler with the try, and Steve Tyler will be looking to convert his own try now. Halifax are back in this one, Joe. Halifax 4, Featherstone Rovers 10.
Yeah, the ball goes over the top there, and it looked a simple enough one, even though it's going over his head for Hitchcock to take and earn the 20 tap. But even still, you know, if you're going to do that, then have some conviction behind your tap and put it dead, get set for the goal line dropout. But I'm not sure what he was intending to do when he flat-foot the ball. Tyree lining up the kick in that signature style. Rather unorthodox, but it's worked this time, and there we are. Halifax well back in this game now. The difference only 4 points.
Indeed, it is game on, folks. Halifax 6, Featherstone Rovers 10, as Andy Bostop's on the field.
Number 16, Andy Bostop replaces number 10, Paul Wood.
And Paul Wood takes a breather. That's just what Rovers need now. Try and get some momentum back, and who better to keep the aggression going than Andy Bostop, Joe?
Certainly, you know, we'll bring the ball forward and he'll get those offloads away and run a real riot against this Halifax side now as they bring the ball forward with force. Need to look to keep them at bay now. They're going to have their tails up after that try, and Rovers are going to be a bit wary after being on their line for so long. You don't want to have that many defensive sets. It can really knock the stuffing out of you.
Indeed you don't, and here Halifax again now trying to work out from their own 30. Bostock in that tackle. just inside their own half now on the 40. It's a kick over the top from Halifax. It was a good one. Will Sharp able to take it easily enough, and he'll run that ball back well. That's a good return from Will Sharp, making a good 10-15 metres there. Godinay now finds Hitchcox. Andy Ellis waits. Moves that ball inside again, and here come Rovers now. Up to the 40 themselves. Here's Kyle Trout. And Bostock with the offload. Moore now moves it out to that right hand side to Rovers on the 40, Halifax 40. It's the last tackle. Here's Moore. He'll put another high kick up. It's just great play from the winger. He's just stayed in the field of play. And that's a good play from Halifax there. A great kick from Rovers, Joe. A great kick from Rovers it was. But well, good play from the Halifax team there to keep that ball in play.
Yeah, Moore's got another bomb in there, rather like the one that led to the first try, but Johnston takes that one well, and how he manages to stay in the field of play, I've got no ideas. Tommy Saxton gets that offload away, but Halifax unable to make the break.
They're in front of you! There's another kick over the top from Halifax. Bounces awkwardly on this awful pitch, and here goes Hitchcox. We've said it in a couple of games already, he only knows one way to go. Hitchcox dancing across the line. Still going, Hitchcox. Halifax not able to put him down. What an effort from Jai Hitchcox, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant on his return to the ball. That's why I was perhaps a little surprised to not see him at fullback, because of course when he's returning from out on the wing, he's only got one direction he can go, and so he's got less options open to him on making yards on the defence. But blimey, that fend of his is ferocious, isn't it?
Indeed, it certainly is. And here are Rovers now in the Halifax half again. Leading by 10 points to 6, Rovers here at the moment. And here's the last tackle, says the referee, and Andy Ellis waits. Moves that ball out to the left, it's Godinay. He'll put a high kick up this time. Tommy Saxton underneath it. That's an easy enough take though. No real pressure on him. And Halifax will start this set, but they are tight to their own line. And Rovers defence now, keep your discipline. No penalties. And you could get great field position, Joe, to restart your next set.
Yeah, definitely. There we are. 3 tackles in, and they're still within their own 10 metres. That's how you want to end a set. With a kick high up, a great chase, and make sure none of your runners are offside. As they get the offload away there, they're going to make the breakthrough. No, we're wise to it. And Alex Foster, great tackle there on the Halifax man. Now as they bring it forward once again, this is good defensive work.
It is Halifax on the last tackle. They're on their own 30 now. The kick is from practically his own 20-metre line. That's a great defensive set for Rovers. Will Sharp with 20 metres to run into. Moves the ball out wide, and Rovers looking to build that pressure again. They're going to start on their own 40. And here come Rovers again now. Bostock gets Rovers back into the Halifax half again. Through the hands it goes. Godinay moves it on to Sharp. Sharp dancing away from one, but can't get away from the second. Down the short side, then a kick through for Hitchcox to chase. An interesting option there from Rovers, but a good option. And Halifax again, Joe, penned right back on their own line.
Yeah, definitely. If we can keep pinning them in this corner, they're the side who still, yeah, the gap's only 4 points, but they're the ones chasing this game. If we can end all our sets pinning them back there, the pressure's just got to build and lead to desperation from Halifax.
It certainly is, and keeping your discipline when you've got a team penned back like this is key. A good defence as well, and here go Halifax. Halifax just outside their own 20 now. Good defence from Rovers. Andy Bostock in the tackle. And there's a kick again. Hitchcock will start that set on his own 40. And Rovers again, Joe, due to excellent, fantastic defence, are starting practically on halfway.
Yeah, here we are again. We've got ourselves a real opportunity on the halfway line now. 2 tackles gone. You know, let's hope we can end this set again, well once again. You know, put the kick in there and make sure we've got good pressure. Let's make use of the pitch as well. We know it holds up on the turf nicely. Sykes makes a great breakthrough, but his offload goes to the Halifax man. He had no choice. He was going out to touch there, but offload just didn't quite have the accuracy, and now Halifax do start on their 20. They're able to break out. It's a fantastic offload there. And here they are now, 25 metres out from their own line. The pressure is finally relieved on Halifax.
Indeed it is. It was Paul Sykes there. It was an offload. He had to try it. He was going into touch. Unfortunately, it did go straight to a Halifax player. And Halifax now are just short of halfway with tackles in hand and a penalty as well. Ironic cheers ring out around us. And Halifax have a penalty on halfway. Halifax 6, Featherstone Rovers 10. Can't be long left in this first half now. Not much depth on the penalty. Halifax will be on their own 30 now. On the Rovers 30, should I say. And another defensive set to come for Rovers. Here's Morell. He's running things for the Halifax team at the minute. Halifax work it out wide. Ben Heaton tries to get the offload away, does he? No, he holds on. Halifax now. Are they over? No, they're held up. Is he held up? Yes, he is. The referee sends him back 10 metres. Great scrambling goal line defence for Rovers there. But Halifax building the pressure on the back of Rovers' ill discipline. And a great chance for Halifax now to possibly pull level, if not stretch out in front. A 4-point lead at the moment, and they're on the football 18-yard line. Here come Halifax now, trying the right-hand side. It's a good step inside. Here's Tommy Saxton with a pass inside, but what a tackle from Rovers that was. It was Kyle Trout, it was. Here to Halifax again, Morell with a kick through. And Rovers not interested, happy just to knock it dead. You've got to praise the Halifax team, Joe. They're knocking at the door. They really are hammering at that door, but Rovers' defence again holding firm.
Yeah, Halifax have certainly responded well since going 2 scores down, and here they are. They've got a chance to pressurise the Rovers once again. It's a dropout now as the Rovers haven't played down. Can't see who it is because unfortunately the physio's in the way of any way of recognising it. And he's not got particularly interesting boots either.
It's Andy Bostock who's down and receiving treatment. Boring Buzzy. But Rovers so far, you've got to praise them defensively in a minute, Joe. A superb effort in the first half defensively. Coming up towards the end of the first half now, the gates are closed down below us. And I think the key for Rovers now, Joe, get to half time. You've got the lead. If they can go in leading after a first half being hammered on the door by Halifax, then they will get a chance to rest. It's got to surely lift them for the second half.
Yeah, definitely. You want to make sure you're in the lead. We've had a lot of defending to do in the second half of this first period, and there we are. Halifax nearly making the break once again, but the Rovers defence are wise to it. There's a certain extent of holding on in the tackle here, but there's a certain extent of moving off the mark as well. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other from both sides here. Referee needs to clamp down on it one way or the other.
He does, and here's Luke Ambler, gets the offload away to nobody. Morell with another dink through. That's picked up by Rovers. Can we get out? Yes, no, we can't. Pinned back again. It's Tom Johnston who's pinned back behind his own line. Rovers holding solid, Joe, but it's yet another dropout, a third consecutive set, and I think all Rovers want now is the half-time siren.
Definitely, Ben, means we are lacking something here in the way that we keep trying to defend these repeat sets, but you've got to admire the way we're managing to hold out and hold this Halifax side at bay. How we've held their possession and all the times they've spent pressing our line. They've only scored 2 tries, I've no idea, but here they are going down the left with that kick early on as he bounced it. Oh, it's a knock on. How do you like that, ladies and gents? Halifax will be haunted by that one, that's for sure.
Oh, that was the chance for Halifax. It was Richard Moore, I think, who knocked on, but that was the chance for Halifax to pull things level. But the chance is bombed, and Rovers defensively there, Joe. 3 sets on the Rovers line, and you've got to give Halifax credit for the way they knocked on the door, but also give Rovers the credit for the way they defended it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, blimey, they even had us surprised up here with that early kick from Halifax, and it nearly came up Jumpstone, didn't it? We are coming forward with the ball now, you know. Maybe we could put in a surprise kick of our own and really go into the dressing rooms with something to cheer about now as Bostock takes this ball up to the line. He doesn't get his usual offload away, but he puts in a great leg drive to gain those extra meters as we take it short side, and it's Moore's kick into the corner. It's a wise decision all in all. It pins them 10 metres out. The half-time hooter's got to come soon.
Indeed, there is the half-time hooter. A fantastic performance from Rovers in the first half. 2 first-half tries from Paul Sykes and Tom Johnston. A return try from Steve Tyler, which he converted himself. 1 goal for Rovers as well. Halifax 6, Featherstone Rovers 10. Joe, a superb effort from Rovers in that first half.
Yeah, it definitely was, particularly the way we started it. A real contrast to last week's game against Bradford. We had a bit more conviction about us and that bit more creativity, which allowed us to get over the line on 2 separate occasions and look dangerous in other instances. You think about Gareth Moore's disallowed try for offside, and yeah, there's certainly something with this team now where it looks promising for the second half. Halifax, though, you've got to give them credit. They came back at it as well, and they've turned this into a real contest.
Certainly have. Just one last point, Gareth Moore in this first half has been absolutely superb, running the show for Rovers. His kicking game's been fantastic.
He definitely has. We've lacked something around in the halves, and Gareth Moore will be chuffed with that performance.
Indeed he will. Half-time then here at the Shea Stadium. Rovers have the lead. Make sure you're back for the second half in about 10 minutes time. Halifax 6, Featherstone Rovers 10. Welcome back to the second half here at the Shea. Halifax 6, Featherstone Rovers 10 at the moment. A superb effort from Rovers defensively in the first half, keeping out 3 consecutive sets towards the back end and able to go out with that 4-point lead back to the Sheds. And I mentioned it briefly before the half-time, Joe. Gareth Moore's been superb in that first half.
Yeah, he certainly has. We've lacked something at scrum half, and he's really added something. He's going to this side, and it'll be difficult for the likes of Martinet to now get a spot back at half back. Martinet, of course, only signing on before last week's game to be a permanent fixture here at the Rovers, and within 1 week finds himself dropped from the team. It's an interesting one.
Certainly is, and Rovers will get first use of the ball in this second half. There's the kick-off. It's taken by Godinet, who finds Ormonroyd. There's that first drive for Rovers then. Ellis on from the bench today is Andy Ellis. Here's Andy Bostock as well, also off the bench. Rovers then, working out from their own from their own half now. About 8 metres short of halfway through Trout. Moore drops it off to Bostock. Gets Rovers up to halfway now. Here's Andy Ellis, he'll find Moore again. Kick over the top from Moore, but that's well taken by Johnston. And here's the return and a good chase from Rovers as well. Halifax starting inside their own 20, Joe. To Andy Hay at half time, what have you said?
Well, lads, you just need to play like you did in those opening stages. You know, they came at them with real conviction, and when they found themselves in the attacking third, they had something to go on. Then indiscipline really cost us towards the back end, but you've got to praise them for some of that defensive effort, certainly. The way we held them out and they only managed to score one try. Absolutely brilliant from the lads.
It certainly was in here at Halifax now on their own 40. That's a good drive in, and they're just short of halfway, and this is the last tackle now. And so a kick over the top from Johnston, centre field. Will Sharp able to pick that up, no trouble. Offloads it to Jai Hitchcock. We know about Hitchcock's returns, but that's a good chase from Halifax. Able to meet him well, and here's Godinay now. He moves that ball out to the right hand side. Rovers now. Arundel looking for support on his outside. That wasn't there. And Rovers now trying to work out from their own 20. Moore along the line to Godinay, along the line even further, shown inside and back outside for Cording. And there's a good dart from Acting halfback for Hitchcock. Godinay again, through the hands it goes to Moore. Moore steps back, gets away and gets a kick over the top. Just stays in the field of play, and it is a good return is this from Saltonstall. A dodgy pass which the Halifax fans don't like. Away to our left. And what's the referee saying here? Just said play the ball, so here we go again. So already looking tasty is this second half. We're in for a crackerjack of a second half. Rovers leading 10-6. And there's an offload on the inside. And on the offload it's a trial of errors, and here are Rovers. And Rovers are away. Johnston again. Still Johnston. What an effort by Tom Johnston. Ellis now. Will Sharp had to reach for it and managed to take it. Bostock. Godinay moves the ball more, shows it and goes himself. Andy Ellis pushes Will Sharp out of the way. Here's Bostock now, looking to spin out to the tackle, looking for the offload. Still going, Bostock. Has he got that down? Oh, he's inches short. Inches short, then a mistake from Gareth Moore. But superb break it was down the right hand side for Rovers. Gareth Moore's actually stayed down. The knock on came and the Halifax player coming in. Not sure if he caught him. But Joe, a superb break it was down the right hand side for Tom Johnston. The chance was there, but good covering defence as well.
Yeah, it was a great turn of pace from the young lad. He looked to be struggling to keep his feet when he first received the ball, but then he ramps it up another notch, runs along, and when the player comes in he's able to stay on his feet, keep going even though the first tackle is round him, and doesn't get forced to touch either. Great play on the first tackle, being wary and making sure he stays in the field of play.
Disappointing end to that set, but if you're going to make a mistake, you've made it in the right place. Halifax have penned back in their own 20, and now we can see more of this superb Rovers defence, trying to push them out of touch, but not a Halifax player just managing to go to ground. It was Ben Heaton, it was. That's a superb cut-out pass. Halifax are away. Halifax are away. And I'll tell you something, Joe, it's the Halifax turf that stopped that try. Halifax, though, got to go out wide, surely. They've got an overlap, surely. Oh, they've bombed it. Halifax have bombed a chance. What an opportunity wasted, Joe. A superb break it was. The ball moved out to the right hand side. They must have had a 4 or 5 man overlap, and the chance is bombed. I don't think Halifax are going to get a better chance in this game to win this match. Oh, a massive let off for Rovers, Joe.
Yeah, Fairbank makes the break there, and blimey, he looked to have gone away from us all, but credit to the Halifax groundsman there. Fantastic in holding him up and enabling the Rovers defence to get back, and didn't recover well, then swooped out to that right side. Halifax with the ball. Rovers sliding the defence, but I don't think it was quick enough. If they'd been able to get that ball down, comes loose though, and it's a knock on. We've got a chance to get ourselves out here. Real get out of jail free card for the Rovers there.
Certainly was a massive chance bomb for Halifax, and here's Andy Ellis now. Jacob Fairbank it was, like Joe says, with a superb break. The ball's moved out to the Rovers left now. Rovers just need to regroup, compose themselves. They've used the get out of jail free card on that occasion. They haven't conceded. That's the main thing for Rovers. Wood to Trout. With the offload to Moore. Steps away from one, does Moore, finds Godinay. Ball's moved along that line again. Rovers attack down the left. That's a kick from Sykes, I think it was out on the full. Rovers just need to keep the composure, Joe. When they're getting the attacking opportunities, just lacking that little bit of composure and turning possession over cheaply.
Yeah, that's twice now we've sent the ball out on the full. In the first half from Godinay, and there again from Sykes. You know, it's gifting territory to Halifax. They've now got a full set of 6 within our half. This could be dangerous.
Certainly could, but Rovers so far defensively today certainly matched Halifax. It was the Halifax try coming from a Rovers mistake. Here at Halifax, so the pen still inside their own half, just on halfway now. Still got tackles in hand, of course. That's a big unit there for Halifax. It's Richard Moore. Through the hands it goes. That's good play from Halifax into passing. But again, Rovers defence just waiting, allowing them to move on to them. Here's the last tackle. Halifax on the Rovers 30 now. It's Morrell with a kick over the top. It's well taken by Johnston. What's the referee saying? He said that Rovers were tackled. And now a penalty for offside. Halifax fans around us not liking that one, Joe. But great play from Johnston to stay in the field of play. And then after the next tackle, Halifax indisciplined, and that's caught offside.
Yeah, the tackle completed and the ball was grounded in the field of play. Great work from Johnston. There were men on him, but he was able to stay there. And then an important penalty to get us out there, because when Gareth Moore had that ball from acting half, he sent the ball up into the face of Will Sharp, and I think that would probably go come loose and we'd copy it up to facts.
Moore again, I think that probably was a forward pass. That did look forward to me. The referee's not sure. What's he saying here? He's pulling a Halifax player out. It stops the clock, Joe. I thought a forward pass from Rovers, to be fair. The referee has pulled a Halifax player out. He's speaking to him. Was that forward?
It was borderline. I'm not sure. I think he has let a couple go today. But yeah, when he swiped his hand over there to the Halifax player, looked rather like the signal for a forward pass. And blimey, had me going a bit there. But instead, it's a Rovers penalty now as Godinay kicks it to this right side. And we start from 25 metres out.
Indeed, it looks like a penalty with a man taken out off the ball. So the tap is taken, and here's Moore. He'll find Wood. Good drive forward there from Paul Wood, pumping those legs. Ellis finds Baldwinson back on. Rovers 10 metres out centre field. Ellis, Wood again. Halifax calling for forward passes. Every pass that goes out now. Ellis waits again. He's pointing where he wants to go. Godinay. Joe shouts for a forward pass. Good defence from Halifax on that occasion, though, to wrap the Rovers up. The ball works out to the left. Moore with a pass. Is Sykes over? Oh, he's close. He's already got one, of course, this afternoon, Paul Sykes. That's a poor pass to Moore. Moore finds Godinay, who steps away, a dink over the top. That's taken well by Halifax. Probably a little bit of lack of composure on that last tackle play there. But again, Rovers have got Halifax in just the right place, Joe.
Yeah, Andy Ellis there, the ball along the ground to Gareth Moore once again there on the last tackle. He was unable to collect the ball and therefore only able to get the kick away. Good recovery from Peter Godinay, and now we need to look to press Fax and keep him back here.
Indeed, still as you were at half time here at the Shea. Halifax 6, Featherstone 10. That's a 40-20 attempt, but it's more centre field than perhaps was liked. Will Sharp able to retrieve it, and he'll just take that ball and take the tackle. As Mitch Callane comes back on, and Andy Braychuk comes back on. "13 minutes gone here in the second half at the Shea then. Still Halifax 6, Featherstone Rovers 10. Wood to Ormondroyd. It's a better defensive set from Halifax here, pinning Rovers back. Here's Trout now. That's the last tackle. Rovers on their own 30 now. Godinay. He'll put a high kick over the top. Juggled but taken by Halifax. It's James Saltonstall who juggled it. And Halifax, that's a better set for Halifax, Joe. They started on their own 40 and now Rovers in discipline. A better defensive set for Halifax, and they've got a great opportunity now.
Yeah, Halifax now starting full set, 40 metres out from the Rovers line. This is what we're saying, ill-disciplined, conceding territory, but then Halifax knock it on to give the possession back to the Rovers. Not what you want to see early in the count on the home side, but works out kindly for Fev.
Certainly does a let-off there for Rovers. Halifax there knocking the ball off forward. So, and a great position there to build an attack with full set in the Rovers 40. Defence back. The ball is juggled by Aaron Dole, but he manages to hold on just. Ellis now Moore drops that pass inside, but good defence from Halifax. Has to be said, Halifax last week, Joe, had a nil score second half at Batley when they came out by 6 points to 2. So far it's the same again here, as you were at half time. Fair to say, Joe, defence is on top at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Two sides with concrete defensive structures and both sides struggling to break through. Took some real creative play from the Rovers to get over the line in the early stages of the first half, and then a mistake for Halifax to score theirs. So yeah, score takes something special to score again from either side.
Superb kick from Moore there, picked up well, and that's a good return by Sultan Stoll, but well hit, and a penalty for Halifax. Indiscipline at the play of the ball as Rovers are making a change. Gareth Moore's coming off and he doesn't look happy. How big a vet will that have on Rovers, I don't know. I'll speak to Joe in a minute about that. So Rovers have lost Gareth Moore. Didn't see who's come on. It's Sam Irwin who's come on. The next score in this match, Joe, is absolutely massive. If Rovers can get a 2-score lead again, I fancy that'll be game over. But if Halifax score, it's game on.
Yeah, definitely. Just while we're at it, great tackle there from Baldwinson to snuff out what could have been a potential break from Halifax with that offload. Yeah, next score definitely, when there's only one score in it, is massive, of course. Halifax get themselves back level or in front of this game, then you fancy them to go on and win it. But Featherstone equally, another score and perhaps knocks the stuffing out of Halifax, and we can regain control of this match. Now as they put the kick high up into the corner, how's this going to go? Tyra's unable to take that and it goes dead. Is it going to be Featherstone head and ball?
It was on the last tackle, so it's gone dead, so it is going to be a handover. Another disappointing into a set for Halifax. And Rovers able to now just trying to build out from their own 20. Don't need to do anything fancy at the minute. They have the lead. Here's Kyle Trout now. Halifax has certainly tightened up their defence since that break in play in the first half, it has to be said. The offload was there to Sykes but didn't come. Wood, Godinay on the bounce. But here are Rovers now, Irwin. Godinay now waits. He moves the ball out to the right, here's Foster. Rovers just a bit disjointed in this set at the moment. Ellis. There's the kick over the top. It's going to be a penalty. Irwin taken out off the ball. Picked up by Halifax player. Halifax fans around us don't like that one, Joe. But Irwin taken out after the ball. And I think, was that a yellow card then as well, Joe?
Yes, the Halifax man sent to the bin there. Not going to be chuffed about that. I think it's Scott Morrell, in fact, but that tackle did look to be before, or at least whilst Irwin was in the act of kicking to me. What went on afterwards, I'm not quite sure because I was following the ball. But yeah, Rovers with a real chance here. Halifax are a man down, they find themselves 20 metres out. Can we take it to 2 scores?
Baldwinson then with the drive. Rovers 12 metres out, centre field. Here's Wood now. Takes on the line, offloads. Godinay looking to pull the strings. The ball's worked out to the left. Rovers held up metre short. Wood again. Takes on that line again. Godinay. Irwin. Out on this right hand side. Another penalty. And the referee stops the clock. Another penalty for Rovers. And the referee's calling out the captain for Halifax. I'm not exactly sure of the reason for this penalty, but another player is being called out as well. I think you could find something going on report here, the way he's calling the players out, Joe. Did you see what happened?
It's a very strange going on here. You don't know what's being said to the referee as well, and you don't know what themes he's picked up amongst the players throughout the game. But it's very interesting, and there's a woman in the stand below us who looks rather like my Auntie Margaret, who's certainly kicking off. Not pleased with these decisions. Andy Ellis there taking the tap and gives it to Paul Wood. He takes the drive in, and that's a great leg drive.
It certainly is a great leg drive, and here's Rovers now. Pinned on the Halifax half. Ellis! Andy Ellis is over from dummy half. The try is going to be given, and Rovers have stretched that lead out to 2 scores. That is a massive try in the context of this game. Indiscipline it was from Halifax, but what an opportunity now for Rovers to stretch out this lead. They have the 2-score lead. Halifax 6, Featherstone Rovers 14.
Halifax will be devastated to concede a try like that. Andy Ellis puts a little shimmy on around the ruck, feints to go left with the pass, but then scoops over from so short, just inches away from the line, reaches over and is able to get the ball down. Yeah, Paul Sykes definitely got to put this one between the uprights and take us Ben to 10 points in front. That means there's 2 scores in it, and that could just put us safe.
It certainly could. A massive conversion here for Rovers. Paul Sykes so far kicked one and missed one. And the Rovers fans away to our right are in fine voice. A much improved performance on last week, it has to be said. And here's Paul Sykes with a conversion. It's the correct side for Paul Sykes. He did miss one tight to the touchline in the first half. I fancy this one might be successful. Here comes a kick from Sykes. Straight between the uprights it goes. Rovers have a 10-point lead. It's Halifax 6, Featherstone Rovers 16.
Yeah, definitely. We've got 15 minutes or just over remaining in this half. So, like we say, every time you score a try, you've got to follow it up with a completed set. And I hope nothing happens in that far corner, because with this sun, I can't see a thing.
Certainly not. Here's a take from Rovers in the return. The sun is blinding. And knock on from Rovers in the tackle. And it's all kicking off as well, Joe. You did say it, the cardinal sin committed by Rovers there. A knock on in the tackle. The scrum is going to put down. And Halifax now with a chance to hit straight back.
That is not the way that you follow up your tries. Halifax, they're knocking. Halifax, they're now having the ball back just 15 metres out from the Rovers line. Rovers concede possession straight after scoring a try, and Halifax, yeah, with the chance to hit back and take this to 1 score. Plenty of time left for Halifax to get back, who knows, maybe win this game.
Indeed, the ball has worked out to that right-hand side now for Halifax. They're held up 5 metres away from the Rovers line. The ball switched. And then the tackle is taken. And another penalty for Halifax. You know what, Joe, I think they should take the 2. But discipline at the minute could cost Rovers here. And it's an awful mistake. An absolutely woeful pass from the base of from the play of the ball. And it went to ground. Halifax not able to pick the ball up on that occasion. That's twice in this half, Joe. Golden chances bombed for Halifax.
Featherstone absolutely gifting Halifax opportunities here, but the home side just unable to take them.
So the ball is out of the scrum. I can't see a thing for the Sun. Rovers in possession then inside their own 20. just needs someone to calm things down. And who better to do that than your captain, Tim Spears? He's on for Rovers now. Ellis from that's in half-back, makes a good 10 metres. It's well hit though by the Halifax defence. Irwin moves the ball inside to Ormondroyd. That's the last tackle now. Godinay will put a high kick in. It's going to bounce. Picked up by Saltonstall. And a good chase from Rovers, pinning Halifax back on their own 20. Have to say, Joe, Saltonstall out on that wing. A lot has been said about him in the build-up to this game by Halifax. But for me, he's had a quiet game.
Yeah, definitely. Not seen too much of any Halifax players in particular going forward, though, you've got to say. Good defensive efforts from the majority in holding Fev out as the way they have on numerous occasions, but yeah, no particular players shining and going forward, that's for certain.
And so here are Halifax then, on their own 40. They're trying to build and get into that Rovers half. It's the last tackle, and Rovers have pinned them back as Jacob Fairbanks returns for Halifax, and he replaces Richard Moore, and Rovers will restart that set on their own 20. Nothing fancy needed from Rovers now, a 10-point lead as it stands, as Will Sharp takes that ball in. Wood, along the line it goes to Sykes. Rovers then just short of halfway. Paul Wood again. Godinay, this is the last tackle. It's a kick over the top from Godinay. It's going to bounce a couple of times. Picked up, and here comes the return. And a good chase as well from Rovers. Coming up to 10 minutes left here. And a penalty to Rovers. A penalty to Featherstone Rovers there for Halifax player moving off the mark. Trying to win a penalty, trying to con the referee. That's a massive call, Joe.
Yeah, moving off the mark. Both sides been very culpable in this game, and Rovers electing to take the two-way. So, number one, they're going to get the ball back when it goes up. But number two, it's going to stretch the lead to 12 points. That means it'd have to be 2 converted tries from Halifax to get back on level terms. It'd be 3 scores if they were wanting to win this game.
There certainly is a massive call from the referee there to penalise Halifax for moving off the mark. There was a Rovers player in attendance in the tackle. Rovers fans away to our right in fine voice. Alex Foster just down on the ground a moment there. Not sure if it were a touch of cramp. Took the bench, just asking if he's all right. Foster says he is. So Sykes with a massive conversion, Joe, in the context of this game. This will put Rovers, I'd like to say, a 12-point lead. Andy Ellis pacing the touchline below us. Andy Hayes, sorry. Here is the kick. Straight between the uprights, the flag's still up. Rovers have a 12-point lead, Joe, and I fancy that could be the game breaker.
Could well be. Halifax needing 2 converted tries, like we say, to draw level, but at home against their rivals for that top 4 spot, they'd want to be winning this game, Ben. Now as Halifax take the kick-off, it's here to this left side, and it's well taken, but no, Foster knocks on. Featherstone Rovers at these kickoffs. We had an abysmal time receiving kickoffs when playing Hunslet, and we're having an awful time here once again. Alex Foster there unable to take the ball, and we're just not following our tries up well, Ben.
We had the same problem, Joe, at Hunslet. We only played Hunslet in the opening game. not able to take the kickoffs. And here are Halifax now with another chance on the Rovers line. So far, Rovers' defence today has been immaculate. Just the one try conceded from the mistake. Can Rovers keep that level of intensity up as Halifax attacking the Rovers line now? Just metres out to the left of the uprights. Here's Morel now, back on the inside. That's a big hit. Rovers don't want to concede another try. Ballsworth out to the left, and another mistake. And referees wave play on. So once again, Joe, great defence from Rovers, and Halifax just unable to unlock that door.
Yeah, Halifax coughing up possession every time they're pressing the Rovers line, and referee gives a blank tackle count there for the Rovers. They've got an opportunity now to break out their half and put in a good kick, pin Halifax back. This is not the way they want to be spending the closing moments when they've got a game to chase.
Rovers now, Irwin drops the ball off to Wood. Wood moves it out to Foster. Here's Wood again, looking for the offload, but takes the tackle. Godinay again, that's great kick from Godinay. Halifax then having to start again from their own 20. Here's Ben Heaton. And I'll tell you something, Joe, Peter Godinay has made a real difference this second half. His tactical kicking's been superb. Joe too busy watching the match, and there is a player down, the clock stopped. So Halifax player looks to have picked up a knock. Looks like it might be Richard Moore. It's just a bit of cramp, I think. A superb second half from Rovers though, Joe. And superb defensive effort throughout the whole match, to be fair. Just a one try against from a mistake. Andy Hayes got to be happy with this one.
Yeah, definitely. I've got it as 8 minutes left, and that means we've had 32 minutes of great play from the Rovers. That player down with cramp there looks to be awfully close to the play the ball for the referee to set the match going again there, but all the same he does, and now it's Halifax bringing it forward. Yeah, Rovers, you've got to be chuffed with this second half performance, particularly the defensive effort, keeping Halifax scoreless.
Indeed, Halifax, that's 2 second halves they haven't scored so far. It was 6-2 at half-time at Batley last week, and that stayed as it was. Rovers 2 tries in this second half. Halifax trying the moves. There's a penalty for a high tackle, which in all fairness it probably was. So a quick tap from Halifax, trying to get on with things. And Halifax then another 6 tackles in the Rovers 20, working out to that right hand side. But once again the Rovers defence up to it. Here goes Saxton, moves the ball inside. Halifax, are they over? No, inches short. I thought they were over then. But again, superb scrambling defence. Morel drops a shoulder, he's tackled as well. Ben Cave to match in half. Halifax have got. Halifax are over. The pressure has finally told. Couldn't see who the scorer was, but they're not wasting any time at all. Halifax 10, Featherstone Rovers 18.
Ben Johnston 2 plays early. I was sure he was over, but Halifax swing it out wide. Well, unable to get it out there, they bring it back in and they're over, and this is game on. The conversion goes over, and now 6 points in it. 5 minutes left. We have got a game on our ends, folks. This is going to be one hell of a finale.
Certainly is. Mitch Carlane going over there for the Halifax. And that try is converted well by Tyler. And Luke Ambler's named the Halifax man of the match.
And the headline, sponsored by the Halifax Players Association, is number 15, Adam Robinson.
Seems to have two man of the matches here at Halifax. Not sure what they both are. There's a kick-off. Halifax able to take that. And Rovers now, massive 5 minutes in this match for Rovers. Joe's writing on our score sheet that Rovers are leading 22-6. I really do wish that was the case. As it is, they are leading by 18 points to 12. And here come Halifax now, tails are up Morel. Here come Halifax now, I think, not sure if that was wiped or not. Halifax again though, getting in a good position. Here's Morel again. That's a good drive through from Halifax, Adam Robinson. Halifax 30 metres out now. Morel. Through the hands it goes, it's worked out. And the momentum lost, it didn't go dead, but the momentum has been lost. Halifax then have to start again as the sun comes back out. And this time the knock-on is given. So Halifax, another opportunity it was in the Rovers half to try and build that position, Joe, to try and get the opportunity to score, but once again, been the story of that afternoon, another mistake.
Yeah, Jay discussed as well to pressure Halifax out wide. The ball didn't quite go dead, and then there we are, you know, they bring it in and cough up possession once again. Rovers have the ball now, a scrum. Chance to put this game to bed, really. Just complete your set, put in a good kick and keep them at that end of the field.
2,187 here at the Shea as Rovers rock on. Here's a zero tackle. And Halifax have tackles in hand in the Rovers 10. What defence that was from Rovers on Adam Robinson. Halifax are tied to the Rovers line now. Tackles in hand. A loose pass. Morel, wide he goes, out to that right hand side. But again, good defence from Rovers. Can they hold this team out? Halifax hammering at the door at the moment. Going down that short side again. Once again, the pass behind, two players going for the same ball. Here's Morel with a dab through. Great positional play from Andy Ellis, but Rovers penalised for offside. It's going to be another set of 6. And here go Halifax again now. As you were in the first half, Halifax hammering on this Rovers door. Towards the end of the half, an attempt from dummy half, but again good defence. Halifax at the moment unable to find the lock to break that Rovers door down again. It's a good charge at speed, but again Rovers defensively solid. A real nail biter of a finish, that'll do for Rovers. The kick's too deep, it's gone touch and goal, and Rovers then with a chance just to slow things down. It'll be a tough restart in front of 2,167 here at the Shea. And so Rovers in no rush here. Don't need to do anything fancy now. 5 drives and a kick. Here goes Will Sharp. Joe, it's been a real battle royal out there this afternoon. Some excellent performances on both sides, but who's your Rovers man of the match?
Rovers man of the match, it's a difficult one to pick here today. You're looking at the two sides, you're looking at our defensive outfits, particularly with that's so strong at the moment. I mean, only letting Halifax have 2 tries in a game where they've pressed that line so much. Paul Wood's been very impressive again. I felt Andy Bostock added something when he came onto the field. Now as Godinay puts in that kick, but he's charged down by Halifax, and 0 tackle is given by the referee. Tim Spears, the captain, coming up with the ball there. Yeah, it's been interesting both ways, but I'd like to pay credit once again to a man who we saw plenty of in pre-season. He's not done too much ball in hand, but he's got plenty of work done with the tackles, and he snuffed out a couple of dangerous opportunities. Here we are, scoring out wide again. It's Arundel with the try here. Puts the game to bed for the Rovers. Just to confirm, my man of the match is Jordan Baldwinson. I think he's been superb and snuffed out some real dangerous moments on Halifax breaks.
Indeed he has, and Arundel it was over the line. It was a superb attack down this right hand side, and that's the match, folks. What a match it's been as well. Halifax 12, Featherstone Rovers 22. A superb attack down the right hand side. It was, and the ball finding its way to Arundel. He still had a lot of work to do, but able to step inside and get that ball down. And that's the match. The Rovers fans away to our right in fine voice. This is a massive result when you think of the match we've got next week, Joe.
It definitely is. We carry some real momentum into that league game. I mean, they've really battered at Donny today over at the Keepmoat, but Donny did come away with 18 points, so there is a chink in the armour if we can look to unlock them in the way we did against this Halifax side, particularly in that first half. So showed some real nice passages of play. So there's a way to break down that Lee side, and maybe we'll find it next week.
And so Paul Sykes then with this conversion attempt. This will stretch it back out to a 12-point lead again as Rovers take up the positions for the kick-off. There's the kick, it's just inside. I thought for a minute it was going to drift wide.
Conversion there from number 6, Paul Sykes.
I thought for a minute it was going to drift wide, but it just drifted back. It's been an excellent performance from Rovers this afternoon. The short kick-off hasn't gone 10, so Rovers are going to get a penalty on halfway. The Rovers fans away to our right wanting 2 points. Joe shouting for 2 points as well. But Paul Sykes is going to find touch instead. First half tries from Rovers to Sykes and Johnston. Only one converted, and Steve Tyler over for Halifax as well. In the second half, tries for Andy Ellis first of all, stretched it out to 14 points to 6. Carl Lane got it back to 14-12. So 16-6 after Sykes' conversion. Then Carl Lane got it back to 16-12. And then a penalty from Sykes and a converted try from Arundel. Rovers have a 12-point lead. Just to rub the salt in the wounds, possibly 1 pointer. Andy Ellis is pointing in the right corner. Goes left from Irwin. Irwin behind Godinay. Rovers just running down the clock now. Here's Will Shaw. Spears now. Wood. Rovers just driving for the sticks, running the clock down. Here's the last tackle. Are we going to see a 1-pointer? Here's Godinay with a kick, straight at his own player. So the 1-pointer doesn't come off, but Halifax having to restart at their own 20. An early kick from Halifax. Jai Hitchcock's able to cover back to retrieve it. and there's nobody better at running into open space than Hitchcock. And what a run! We know the danger he can cause. Another superb return. And Rovers, Joe, starting on the Halifax 40.
Yeah, now this game is well and truly confirmed now, the result, so it's just about closing it out. Don't do out stupid, boys, you know, keep it calm, make sure you ease into next week's game and finish this as a formality there. Baldwinson taking the tackle perfectly, just like every player in this set's been doing. They know what this is all about now. Erwin showing a bit of the skills there, but putting it out to Spears, and yeah, just keep composed now, lads.
Indeed, here's Godinay now. Pass out the back door, and Rovers attacking down that left channel. Here's the last tackle again. A kick for the corner. That is the match confirmed. If the siren ever finishes, there it is. It was 10-6 to Rovers at half-time. Second half tries from Ellis and Arundel. A try from Halifax for Carlane. But a superb performance for Rovers. 2,167. Joe, a massive win for Rovers after last week and looking ahead to next week.
It definitely is. We come out of this game, this was the big one. We talk about last week against Bradford, yes, it would have been lovely to win, wouldn't it? And we talk about next week against Lee, but like we say, they're full-time teams, they're not the ones we're particularly competing with. They're the ones we're hoping we could hit a bit of form and do over in the later stages of the season in that middle eight. This game was what it was all about though, Ben. This is the side we'll be competing with for that fourth and third spot. This game was more important than both of those games. And we've come here, we've come to the Shea and we've won it.
2 years in a row, Rovers win at Halifax, and you have to praise Joe. Just one last point as the referee walks off to not so happy Halifax fans. You have to say, praise the defence of Rovers. Absolutely superb. Halifax, attack after attack, set after set on the Rovers line, and Rovers defence up to it on every single occasion.
Yeah, definitely. That defence has got to be the most pleasing thing we take out of this game, really. We had some great defence in the early instances against the Bulls, but yeah, this week it's been something else, hasn't it? It's really kept Halifax at bay. Defence wins you games, people say it over and over again, and it did today.
Indeed it, Joe. Thanks again for joining us here at the Shea. Final score here, it's good, what a great result for the Rovers after the disappointment of last week. Get yourself down to the big fellas next week, it's going to be a classic. Halifax 12, Featherstone Rovers 24. Andy, Halifax 12, Rovers 24, a superb effort.
Yeah, we scored plenty of points there, so pretty pleased with that, and a real tough place to come, Halifax, and get a win. And although we made it hard for ourselves, and Halifax certainly made it difficult for us, and really pleased with the performance and pleased with the win.
Great defensive effort from Rovers as well, especially in the first half. They've only conceded the one try from mistake.
Yeah, we talked about our defence last week and probably needed to show a bit more enthusiasm and desire in defending our line, and I think we got that this week. And the try in the first half was a disappointment, just from a poor sort of kick reception from Jai, and apart from that, they did have a lot of pressure on us, and we defended it real well. So it gives you confidence as a team. We've still got to learn about our game management, I think, and finishing our sets off a little bit better and getting our kicks where we need them to be. But we'll get there, and it's a tough place to come, and they've been playing well up to now, Halifax, and it's a real good win for us.
How do you think the lads played who are on Joe Redge from Wakefield?
I thought they slotted in very well. Young Tom did a fair bit of work on the wing for us. Joe scored a nice try to put it to bed at the end. Pitter, I thought he was under a lot of pressure, as our halves were in that game, from Halifax's defence, and they performed well. And Trouty sort of filled in the middle. So really pleased with the performance from the guys from Wakefield, and that's why we've got the dual reg to call upon them when we need them, and we certainly needed them this week.
Gareth Moore came off in the second half. He'd had a really good batch until he came off. Is he injured?
He's got a bang. We're not sure what it is. He's got a bang on his shoulder. Again, took off the ball late in a tackle, which is pretty disappointing from an opposition when they want to play tactics like that. So they tried to take him out, and Peter and Sam and Andy Ellis as well, and they succeeded with Gaz, didn't they? So he's battled through his injury to make the game, and then he's got another injury during the game. But I thought while he was on, he was organising really well, and his kicking game was outstanding. So we'll just see how he is, and hopefully he'll be right for next week.
Jordan Baldwinson as well, another superb performance in the front row. He was our man of the match.
Yeah, he's a young warrior, isn't he? He just he turns up every week for us and does his job in the middle. He performs really well and plays really tough and plays above his age, I suppose. And he's good for us in the middle. He's relentless in what he does, and it shows through his training how he works, and his work ethic in training transfers into a game for us.
How important was it to get the win today, and the performance as well after last week and looking ahead next week to Lee?
It was important for the players themselves, I think, to get back on the horse and prove they weren't the team whatever we was talking about last week. I didn't think we were that bad against Bradford. We came up with a good opposition on the day, and they're a quality outfit, and we probably stood off them a little bit too much, and we talked about that during the week. And it's credit to the boys who played today. They did a job, and it's always important to get the 2 points, and I'll take the 2 points all day off the best performance we'll ever have, and it's about building the points up until the end of the year and staying in that top 4.
A massive match next week. Now looking ahead to Lee, they've won at Doncaster pretty comfortably as well.
Yeah, they're a good side. They've added players into the squad, and they were a good side last year, so they're only going to have improved. So it's going to be a tough game for us. See how many knocks we've got and see how many bumps and bruises we've got. We'll be in tomorrow and go through the video, have a look at what we need to do for Lee, and come up with a game against them, because we know it's going to be a tough game for us. They haven't lost a game yet, so it's going to be an exciting game down at Post Office Road, and hopefully the fans get behind us again and see how many Lee can bring, and hope for a big crowd.
Can you give us any injury news on the players who missed out today?
Not really. We've got a few bangs and knocks from today and previously. Hopefully we'll see a few come back next week. I can't give you much more than that, to be honest.
Any news on Rennie and Ryan come over from Australia as well?
Yeah, Rennie's applying for his visa now, so his clearance should be through, and we're hoping he should be on a flight mid to late week, so we should have him in the country by next week. Ryan's a little bit different. It's gone to the embassy now, and we're chasing up with what's happening with his Irish citizenship, so we're just waiting for a bit more news on his, but it's good news about Rennie, and we're hoping he'll be here mid to the end of next week.
Andy, thanks for your time.
I was just wanted to ask, there were 10 changes to the starting lineup today. Is that something that will continue for next week, do you think, or is there going to be more of a stable team lineup for next week?
We're in the hands of Wakefield a little bit with some of the changes, but we're going to try for a bit of stability. Some of the changes were forced, some we had to make because of performance. The whole back line changed, and it was great to have Gaz Moore back, and Sharpie looked good back at the full back as well. So we're hoping not to make that many changes week in, week out, but a needs must, and we needed to do that this week. So again, it's about consistency, and we're looking at trying to get a consistent team together.
And there was a swap between Hitchcox and Sharp, with Hitchcox going onto the wing, Sharp going to full back. Is that something that you thought worked well today?
Yeah, we know what Sharpie does there, and when we signed Jai, he can play full back, wing and centre. With them 3 positions, he's pretty competent in them all, and I just wanted to look at Sharpie out the back, his energy and enthusiasm in the last couple of games. I thought if we got him out of full back, he'd have more chance of getting his hands on the ball, which he did, and I had a real good effort again. He's been the standout performer for us probably in the 4 games we've played, so I think he deserves his crack there at full back, and he enjoys it there.